In this video, I want to share with you a concept that I have become pretty obsessed with recently, as well as explain how it stands to help you in your campaign to become a better swimmer. Now, the concept that I am talking of is the idea of buying back more time. And the reason why I've become obsessed with this concept lately is because, having become a father quite recently, naturally, in looking after a baby, my time has become a lot more constrained because I have to put so much time into taking care of this newborn child. It means that it takes time away from other things, and naturally, in the context of wanting to become a better swimmer, some of that time is training time. And as such, I've been looking for ways to increase my time efficiency so that I can increase the amount of time that I can spend in the pool, or try and get back to the levels that I was doing before becoming a father. So just to introduce myself, if you haven't been here before, my name is David Westcough and I am a masters swimmer in Great Britain, where this Make Me Proud series is me sharing my campaign to become a better sprint swimmer. So first up, what do I mean by buying back more time? Well, it's about spending your money in a way that enables you to spend more time, more of your personal time, in a way that you want to. So in the context of trying to become a better swimmer, naturally you'd want to put that into more training, is the absolute obvious one, be that in the pool or the gym. Recovery, perhaps you could do with getting a little bit more sleep. Or nutrition, be that either being a little bit more intentional and planning your meals, or taking a little bit more time to cook something that is healthier than what you otherwise would cook. So that is how you can spend time in a way to make yourself a better swimmer, and where you stand to benefit from this concept. But going back to the idea of trying to buy back time, and naturally you can benefit from this concept in more ways than just your swimming. You can use it to see friends and family, do some hobbies that you want to do, etc, etc. So this is something that translates across the entirety of your life and not just your swimming. But how do you go about buying back more time? So as I said, it's about spending your money either by buying a product or service, outsourcing things that you might already do, so that you can spend that time in the way that you want to. Because especially as you get older, you spend your time trying to earn money, but ultimately it's not really the money that we're after. We're after using that money to spend it on ways in which we can spend our time in the way that we want to. However, sometimes we forget that, and we end up putting a lot of time into trying to earn money, when in reality we want that money to be able to spend time in the way that we want to. And so a balance needs to be struck there. However, I digress. And how can you go about buying back more time? If you've got a little bit of surplus money, and like me as a swimmer, you are particularly time poor, then one way I have done it is I like to supplement my swim training with walking. So this is just to keep a nice base level of fitness, trying to do sort of the lower intensity cardio work through walking. However, naturally, in having a baby, my time is limited, which, if I hadn't undertaken the solution I'm about to explain to you, would have meant that I would have had a tough choice to make, and that is either to continue walking and give up swim training, or give up more swim training and continue swim training and give up walking, neither of which I particularly wanted to do. So what came into my head was, is there a way that I can get these steps in whilst I'm doing something else, i.e. being more efficient with my time? And the answer to that was yes, I could. In buying myself a sit-stand desk and a trackpad, it meant that I could get my steps in while I worked. Now, I appreciate that I'm very fortunate enough to be able to work at home quite a lot of the time. However, there are other ways in which you can also buy back more time. So perhaps it's hiring a cleaner so that you don't have to spend that time cleaning. You can spend it doing other things. Instead of tidying your house, there are multiple examples of how you can go about doing this and buying back more time for yourself. And the way to think about whether this is a good investment or not is by thinking about how much money you would earn at work. Work out your per hour cost, i.e. how much money you earn per hour at work. You may want to calculate that so that it's the figure after tax. And then when it comes to spending money on trying to buy back more time, is the cost of buying back that time less than however much it is earning at work? So if you earned, say for example, after tax, £15 per hour at work, and you could get somebody to do something that would take you an hour and you only had to pay them £5, then naturally that is a positive benefit for you, because you essentially get some time back and you've only spent £5 where otherwise you would have spent an hour of your time, which costs you £15 through whatever you do at work. So that is a good way of evaluating it. But as I say, this is a really incredible way of trying to be more efficient with your time, and you can come up with multiple ways. I'm drawing a blank at the moment beyond my cleaning analogy and my trackpad analogy as to how you can do this, but with the pressure of being on camera, my mind is drawing a blank, but I'm sure that you can think of some ideas that are already coming into your head. And as I say, as you get older, you realise how much more precious time actually is, where the money that you earn, which you think is, quite significant when you are younger, as you get older, you want to go back to a time where you are more time rich, more wealthy with your time, where you've got more time to spend, especially in trying to do hobbies that you find enjoyable. So that is my 2 pence for this week. I think it's a really powerful concept, and I'm excited to try and find further ways in which I can improve my efficiency to buy back more time and invest that wisely into my swim training and other things that I enjoy in life, such as seeing friends and undertaking other hobbies, etc., and even looking after the baby and having more fun with the baby as well. So that is it for this week's video. Thank you very much for watching. I've been David Westcough, and I'll see you again next time.
For more swimming content, follow and subscribe. To swim faster on limited training time, head to westcough.com. Otherwise, see you in the next episode.